Hello.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Check.
Vibe check. Can we just change the topic to TikToks?
No.
We just watch TikToks, but
Absolutely
it's
not.
a podcast, so they can't see them.
Okay, welcome. My name is Calvin. I'm the Assistant Multimedia Editor at The Peak, and we've got an interesting podcast for you guys today. The topic is dating. And we've got the lovely Juztin.
Award-winning.
Oh my. I was waiting how long it would take to mention that.
Yeah, I'm the copy editor at The Peak. Good stuff.
I'm Paige. I'm a news writer at The Peak.
On that, I guess we can start talking about dating.
Yeah.
I don't know who entrusted us to do this. But,
I know. I guess the first question I would probably go into is, what's the worst date you ever been on?
I had a guy I was hanging out with at my hometown's university, and it was 2 a.m. and I got home drunk as shit, and he went, "Do you want to hang out?" And I went, "Yeah, absolutely. I'm on my way. Pay for my cab." So then I cabbed over there, but the thing is, Prince George gets a lot of snow, and I did not consider that, so I definitely wore flip-flops.
Oh, no.
And
my God.
as I got out of the cab, I went, my feet are real cold. So then I go up to his room. He tried to use I don't know if you know, but some dorms have a thing where they can let you in from their rooms and they don't have to come down. He would not come down. So I'm standing there in the foyer with my flip-flops. My feet are numb, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I still went up, though.
Wait, it was 2 a.m., you said?
Yeah, because I got home from a party, and I was like, he's like, "Do you want to hang out?" I'm like, bet. And then,
oh my God,
so,
why?
Boo-boo the fool.
Yeah, jeez. Calvin?
I mean, at that point, you shouldn't even turn back. Like,
I know, you
frozen.
commit.
Like,
so you're like, I might as well just stay and go for it.
Yeah, go up to this room or get your feet amputated at this point.
It's the only two options.
One of two options.
One of two options. That's all I
Go
can
home
do.
or amputation. That's problematic.
That's a tough one, actually.
Yeah. I one time went on a date with a guy who had the same name as my brother.
That's
Whoa.
fucked up.
Yeah. Also, we just completely screwed up already. We not swearing on this podcast page.
I'm
Oh,
so
was that
sorry.
a goal?
That
I don't
was
know,
a goal.
apparently.
We went, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah. But yeah, I went on a date with this guy who had my brother's name, which first of all should have been my first red flag. And I was like, what's your stance on that, by the way? Would you ever go on a date with someone who has the name of your sibling?
Absolutely
I don't
not.
have a sibling,
Okay.
but I feel like it's just weird.
If you went on a date with someone who had the same name as like your mom.
Actually, I kind of relate to that because my cousin has the same name as my girlfriend, and it's just
Oh,
it's kinda-
okay.
it's just
So you still have blood that's yeah.
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 I've never been in that situation, so I don't know. But from an outsider perspective, that's weird.
It was weird. And you know what the worst part is? I went on another date with another guy who had the same name as my brother because I thought the first one was just a mistake. But no, that one was just as bad too.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I went on this date with this guy, and the entire time he was kind of just talking. And you know when you just check out, you already know it, you're like, I don't like this person, this is bad.
Totally.
And he kept talking about our next date as if this first one was going so well. And I
You
was
got
like,
a big storm coming.
and he was like, oh yeah, so next time when we hang out, we'll do this. And I was like, okay.
No.
And I had just gotten tattooed moments before this date also. I should
my
mention that.
goodness.
So I was bandaged up. and
And he's trying to caress you.
no,
on
he
the
was
bandage.
yeah, literally, he was trying to touch me, and I could be like, hey, I actually just got tattooed. And he kept telling me how I should take care of my tattoo. No tattoos on this guy, by the way. But he
Wow.
just assumed that he knew how to take care of himself. Meanwhile, I was at 20 or so by then, so I was like, I know what I'm doing.
You still have no idea what you're doing. Yeah, no.
But I was like, yeah, and then I remember after the date, I went to leave, and then he insisted on paying, but then I was like, I don't want him to pay because that means that I'm trapped to going on a second one where he has to pay.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think so?
Not at all.
Okay, we can go back to that.
Yeah.
But then I remember while I was, because it was at just waterfront, I remember walking to the SkyTrain. And he kept trying to hold my hand, and I literally just took my wallet out of my back pocket and held it in that hand so both my hands were full.
Wait, first date?
Take a hit.
First date.
No.
First date.
No.
And then-
Buddy.
And then when he wouldn't go my hand, he tried to reach around and grab my waist, and I was also sort of no.
Hell no.
And then he also didn't have to take the SkyTrain, but he went with me down the platform, which I was like, you don't have to do, you literally don't have to do this. And then he went in for the kiss, but the train pulled up, so I literally okay, bye, and I got into the train, the door shut, and then he texted me, this is my thing, he texted me being like, hey, sorry, I'm such a bad date, ha ha ha. And I literally just texted him back,
Shitty.
it's okay, don't worry about it.
Oh,
and,
no.
And then he proceeded to hit me up on Facebook. He didn't have me on Facebook, by the way, but he proceeded to hit me up on Facebook, Snapchat, text me, Instagram DMs. It's just like, but every time insist that he understood what he was doing was not cool. And every time, I just never responded at any time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You dodged a crazy
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
I don't think it was the name though. It just
Yeah,
it was a coincidence.
I preface it as if the name was the issue. No, I think he was just the issue.
Sociopath. That's it. That's
Yeah.
the tweet.
Okay, but what were you saying about when I was like, oh, I felt like if he paid for this one, I felt pressured to pay for the next one?
You never asked him to.
Yeah,
so
that's
the
true.
fact that like people believe that, oh well, if they pay, then I have to get it next time.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's great to do. Like I'm that person. I will pay like Dutch or whatever. Like I'll
Yeah.
split it. Like I don't want to
Yeah,
be
that's
the
right,
person
too.
who mooches all the time. But if
Yeah.
he offers, then that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it next time. And I hate that premise.
Right.
It makes it almost like you have some sort of like ball and chain on you. Like, oh well, I have to pay next time, so we have to go out and do something nice because
Yeah.
that's what we did the first date. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's true.
Calvin, you're in a relationship, right?
I am in a relationship.
Yeah.
And when you ask this question of like, what was my worst date? I genuinely couldn't think of one. Just
Right.
not because I've had like amazing dates or something, but
Yeah.
just because, like generally been good.
Yeah.
Aw.
But then I remember this one quote unquote date
Yeah.
that was the worst of my life, for real.
Go on.
Because like the thing is, it wasn't a date, but it really was a date. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally know what
Totally.
you mean, yeah.
Yeah, like they didn't phrase it as a date, but they asked me, and it was totally a date, right? So I'm working at the P&E, right? First thing, orientation. I show up an hour early for some reason, and I'm the only one with this other girl, and she invites me to go like stargazing after.
Interesting.
Okay.
I mean, that's super romantic, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is. But also, like, what time of year is it and, like, where? Because, like, you can't see the stars, like, at all in Vancouver.
Yeah, it was summer.
Oh, okay.
Sky was clear, but I didn't bring my glasses.
Wow, what
Okay.
a view.
Yeah, I see them. They're so good.
Oh no.
But the thing is, and this is the same name kind of situation here. So I hop on the bus with her, right? And just as we're getting on the bus, this other guy shows up. His name is also Calvin, and they had already had plans to go stargazing. And she had invited me as a third kind of wheel situation.
Oh,
But their
no.
thing wasn't a date, right? Because he just asked
Right.
her as friends, but clearly it was a date. But she
Right.
just, for some reason, freaked out probably and asked me to come along.
Did you know her beforehand?
No.
Oh,
No.
my
Just out of nowhere, like,
Yeah.
I'm taking
Yeah, I'm
you.
just
Oh
I'm
my
a stranger
God.
in this
Yeah.
situation.
You
right?
were a security blanket. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
I know.
Oh, my
I know.
God.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole time I'm just getting bit by mosquitoes and like
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
three
summer,
of us.
yeah, mosquitoes.
Yeah. No. And then 2 weeks later I'm like, this girl's kind of cool. So I ask her out and she's like, oh no, I would have said yes, but the other Calvin asked me 2 days ago. And I'm like, why would you tell me that?
Yeah.
Just say no. Like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Let me
yeah.
down easy.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I think I dodged a pretty bad
But
situation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you're on a dating app, let's say, and you message someone, would you prefer that they message you back saying they're not interested, or would you rather they say nothing?
I feel like at that point, because I don't really have an emotional connection to that
Yeah.
person yet.
Yeah.
They haven't said anything to me. I feel like that'd
Yeah.
be easier than like,
Right.
red 927 is a lot better than shut up or I'm not interested. You know?
What guys are you messaging who their first response back is just
Straight
shut up?
men.
Oh, true.
That's
Yeah,
a
because
lie.
I know there's a lot of arguments of people being like, oh, like, if you're not interested, have the balls to tell me. But then you'll message back, being like, hey, I'm not interested. And they're like, oh, you suck. Like, why would you say that? And it's like, what?
People can dish it out. They can't take it.
I know.
That's the thing.
I think I'd prefer someone to say something. Because it's just, like, easier and, like, it's not a waste of my time.
My ego's too frail for that. I'd rather have it left in the like realm of the unknown than
Yeah.
to hear projection.
Yeah, that's true.
True, but like if they did want to do that, then why did they swipe on you in the first place?
That's also true. Well, the thing is, like, I'm like, here's my thing. Like, calls are coming from inside the house. Like, I'm the type of person who, like, if, like, I'll match with people and then they'll message me and then I just will never message them.
You're that person.
I don't know. I don't know why. Because sometimes it's just, like, just because, like, I found you, like, physically captivating in the, like, 5 seconds I saw you doesn't mean that, like, I want to start a conversation.
That's fair.
You know?
That's the trouble with dating apps, though. I think
That
like,
is.
They're honestly they've ruined self-esteem at sometimes because
Yeah.
you get that like, oh, it's cute, and then you message, you finally like will yourself to do it, and you get the courage, and then the other person is just like,
I also hate the reverse though, when people like, well, no, I don't hate, because I understand that it like comes from like a certain place, but like when people like boast the amount of matches they have.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never come
Really,
across that.
I have like friends, and like they'll like comparatively be like, oh, I'm at like this many matches right now. What about you? And I'm just like, I don't really know my match count like at the top of my head.
That's really strange, and I
Yeah.
don't know why they feel the need to boast
But I think
that.
that's the thing where it's like an ego boost to be like,
Yeah.
oh, this many people like are interested.
I mean, how many dates have you had from that went successfully?
But it's also one of those things. It's like if you have this many matches, why are you still single?
That's that on that.
You know, like if you have like 400 matches, like shouldn't you have like start dating one of them? Hot
Yeah.
take.
Hot take. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Look
at that
voice
point-
crack.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
did. Edit that out.
Edit it out.
Yeah, at that point, it might just be kind of sad.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what's really the point then? Like, are you only on like these apps for like numbers then? Like, is it a number
Validation.
game?
Seriously.
Yeah.
A lot of the
Which is
times.
valid. Like, validation is valid. Timestamp quote.
Wow.
Validation is valid.
Deep. I'm inspired by
Put
this
that
Peak
on
Speaks.
a pillow. Put that on a pillow and put it in your living room.
Perfect.
What else we talk about? Oh, things that make a good date in reverse. What's something that someone does like on
I
a
don't
date
know
where you're
her.
like,
Just kidding.
I've never been on a good date. No.
Honestly, the most recent date I went on, the guy opened the door for me and I almost passed out. And I think that kind of says like my standards at this point. It's pathetic. One thing, he has a car because no one in van does. So at home, like I live in Prince George, that was
Yeah.
solid. Fucking what, 1999 Sunfire. Anyway, he opened the door for me, and I was like, what do I do? And he's like looking at me like, and I just go in and I'm like sitting there. Is that what chivalry is? I don't know. It was overwhelming. So when he shows like a little bit of, I don't know, chivalry is one of those cringy notions, but
Yeah,
I think that
I
sometimes
agree.
it's kind of cute.
No, I agree with that.
I mean, I open doors for people all the time.
Yeah,
That's
right.
true.
Not even just
right,
like my
yeah.
girlfriend, like, you know, my friends, anyone.
Yeah,
Like,
That's just being polite. Yeah, I guess just
Yeah.
being polite and, you know,
yeah. Always open door for the homies.
open on the door for the homies.
I just think like if you do something interesting on a date, you know what I mean? Like I think for a first date especially, like I hate I don't think I've ever gone on a date where I've gone like to like dinner in the movies. I've like never done that.
Really?
Well, because it's like, how do you get to know a person if you're sitting in silence for 2 hours?
That's true.
yeah.
You're just like, okay, we both mutually are in each other's space for 2
I
hours.
raise you the point, though.
Mhm.
I think you could tell a lot by a person by how loudly they eat their popcorn.
That is
So,
I'm
I'm
also
just saying,
true.
if they're
is
that
true.
person that's, you
That
know,
is true.
munching over Jennifer
Also, like,
Aniston, it's
you can know like their concept of social cues, whether they know like when to laugh or like how loud to laugh
That's
in a
true.
movie theater.
That's true. Yeah, but I agree. It's a bit of a, you're kind of
Yeah.
setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Like you can get to know
Yeah.
the person
I
at all.
sincerely feel like the best kind of like first date would be kind of like just like going to a bar and talking.
Alcohol, you know. What?
I know, so off brand. But like, well, the thing is, because like even too, like that loosens you up a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
whenever I go on like a date that actually means something, I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna have like a drink with dinner, just so that I can like be less like have my walls down a bit. And not the Peak Speaks does not encourage alcoholism or consumption of alcohol at all whatsoever. But I think it'd be like, yeah, I think it's like whenever you go on a date and you could drink a bit, then that kind of makes you like be like, okay, like let's talk, like let's like not to the point where you're like spilling secrets, but you know, like a nice.
Yeah, that one little overshare when you just step one too many
Yeah.
and they're looking at you
test
like,
the waters, like
I
can
gotta
you
go,
handle my
uh,
trauma? Yeah, besides that, I agree with the chivalry thing, which is
Same.
interesting though because like I am like gay, so it's like it should, because the concept of chivalry is like, you know, like a man presenting himself for a woman, but if you're both men, it's like which one of you is like, you know, which one of you is the chivalrous one? But it's like I don't know, it feels nice to have someone like open a door for you,
Yeah.
or stuff like that, like in a romantic sense.
Yeah, it's like, I care about you.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean it in like the stereotypical like, oh, he has to, you know, do everything for me, but it's just nice sometimes. Maybe my standards are just on the ground at this point.
Did that date end up being a good one?
No. Well,
You fully just kombucha girled. No, well.
it was okay. I'll
Okay.
just leave it at that.
All right.
Yeah.
How long ago was your most recent date?
It was during winter break when I went home. Should I tell about this guy? This is the guy I've been telling you about.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Speaking of
Story
door
time.
opening
Spicy.
guys, story time. We're
Yeah.
going on a tangent. Okay. So when you go on like a one date with a person, it is not official by any means to me. Like I don't think that really
Yeah.
counts. Like
Yeah.
that's just my interpretation of it, especially if you haven't established anything at all.
Yeah.
You gotta ask.
That's it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this guy assumed that I fell in love. So he
Classic.
he snaps me a couple weeks later when I'm back home, and he's like, I have something to tell you. I hope you're not mad. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know. So then I respond like, what? And then he goes, I met someone. And I'm like, okay, that's great. The thing is, the second time we hung out, we just like hooked up. So to me, that was kind of like there's no chance for a relationship at this point.
Yeah.
It's just kind of one of those things that you just end quickly. He seems to think the exact opposite. And he made it out to be some sort of soap opera. He's like, I hope you're not mad. And then I just, left him on red. I'm like, okay, I don't really care. And then like he kept saying, are you mad? I'm like, dude, I am in Vancouver. I don't care.
Yeah.
And this is the third day in a row where he's been like, are you mad at me? Should I block him or should I just...
Well, have you told him straight up? You've been like,
I just genuinely said, like, I do not care. You can live your best life. I'm here in Vancouver living mine, so just...
Also, my question is,
I don't know.
you, like, oh no. He has told you that he's found someone else. Why is he so insistent about caring about your emotions?
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything because it sounds kind of pretentious, but I mean...
Yeah, if he's like, he went to the effort to be like, hey, I found someone else, and then he keeps messaging about it, like, why does
Like, you shouldn't care about me
Yeah.
at all, exactly.
Yeah.
If you found someone.
Sorry, what were
whatever
you going to
that
say, Calvin?
means.
I was just gonna say, in his defense, you did ignore him on that first message, and then like said, "I don't care," as if you did care,
Oh, okay.
which he might have
The
misinterpreted.
way that I worded it, though, I don't think that it was just like an I don't care. Like I said, I genuinely don't care. Like, you live your best life, I'll live mine. It wasn't really like I don't care. I'm not mad. It was just kind of...
Yeah.
Did you put a period at the end of your statement? That's very telling.
I don't care. Full stop.
I don't care. It's fine, period.
No.
But yeah, that's nuts.
Men.
Can I say something sloppy?
When do you not, Justin?
Yeah.
But my most recent boyfriend, we started dating after the first date. Like,
You know what? If it worked, though, if it's
but you know what?
like
You know what?
an
You know what it is?
established thing.
We went on one date. I crashed at his, and that night we had a discussion whether or not we were gonna date, and we said yes, and we started dating.
That never happens, so just
Wow.
treasure that. Most of the
And
times
then
it's like an
yeah.
awkward, like,
Well, the thing
what's
is,
happening?
we were talking for like 2 months.
Mm.
So like we kind of like dating apps, like I feel like skew that kind of line.
Yeah.
Because you have to, like, first dates are kind of like you get to know a person. But I'd gotten to know him for like 2 months of talking, and then
Yeah.
like, yeah, first date we just started dating. But I mean, we dated for 6 months, and he was awful. So I guess I probably should have gone on another one before realizing that like
Oof.
he was bad.
Oof.
But I mean, that's my lesson.
Well,
I think you can, hook up on a first date and actually
Yeah.
date the person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think
it's just
anything
about
wrong
like
with
both
that.
of you establishing it. Because
Yeah.
if you have this weird, in the air, like, what
Like,
are we?
if we
kind of
are-
thing.
Oh, it was
You
so
just gotta have the
cliche.
conversation.
We played truth or dare, but no dares, just truths. And then one of us asked the other, like, oh, like, if I asked you, like, if you want to date, would you say yes now? And it was like, yes. And then it's like, okay, so, like, let's just date
Is that
then.
not a little bit manipulative?
I don't,
To me?
I mean, that was pretty, like, a recurring theme in our relationship.
Okay.
So, go off. Yeah. I'm
Because,
trying
like,
to-
what can you even say at that point?
Yeah, if I say no.
You're like,
the thing
no,
is-
he'll be like,
But the thing is, if
Yeah,
I
he
like,
basically
yeah,
asked.
well, but
Yeah.
then again, that's also indicative because then I would be like I would be like, yo, psycho, like this is our first date,
yeah.
like we shouldn't date on the first, obviously in like better terms, but like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was just like first one, I know who you are, sure, let's go for it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But did you really know who he was?
No, I didn't. My friends did though. They didn't tell me.
Oh, no.
Wait, here, okay. Actually, I'm gonna bring that up too. If you're dating someone who's not that great and your friend can see, would you want them to tell you?
Please.
Please, yeah.
Please.
I think it saves a lot of heartache, and I mean, some people might perceive it as them trying to like sabotage you, but to me, if they're true friends, they're not going to do that. They're just going
Yeah.
to be looking out for you.
And why would they sabotage you? Like they're just looking
Yeah.
out for you.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
I remember when I got out of my relationship, the amount of people who were like, "Oh, I never liked him," and it's like, well, then why couldn't you have told me? Like,
Bruh.
I would have listened.
Hello.
Like, it's just, yeah, I don't know. Because, like, I've always been in the situation where I find out afterwards that, like, my friends didn't like someone who I was dating. And it's one of those things where it's, like, I feel like if I had those red flags, like, I would have done something about it, you know? Because it's, like, obviously, when you're dating someone, you don't see the things that you don't see.
That's true.
But, yeah.
But you're going to see them at some point, and someone could have just told you sooner.
Yeah, if someone just told me sooner. Like, I remember, because, like, my most recent boyfriend, like, I went with him on vacation with friends. So we were together for 9 days, and I made my friends live with him for 9 days. And by the end of the trip, everyone was like, I want to kill him.
Ooh.
And
yeah,
then, like,
you could tell a lot by a person, but when you travel with them, they're
he was
like
awful.
living with a person.
It was so bad.
Oh no.
Yeah. Actually, that brings up, like, something I want to ask, too. Do you think there's a certain guideline of, like, whether someone should, like, propose if they're dating someone? Because I would say I have a lot of friends who say, like, that you should live with someone before you propose. Do you think that's true?
Bold of you to assume I know any life skills at all to answer that question.
Yeah.
But, like, hypothetically, like, do you think that, like...
It just comes down to, do you really know them?
Right.
And I don't think you have to necessarily live with them to really know them,
Right.
but...
It definitely helps, though. I
Yeah.
mean, you're
Well,
going to be
yeah.
living with them for, theoretically, the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right? So, I
Very
mean, if they're a
much.
person that, you know, has really horrible habits and you don't know them because you don't live with them, you're going to be stuck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like whatever their personality and like what you've seen outside of like the home, like it probably reflects what's there too.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. That's good.
Deep come. Wow. Wow.
Timestamp.
Inspired.
Put it on a pillow.
Timestamp. We have like 3 pillows already.
I
Oh my gosh.
We're coming out with Peak Speaks merch. It's all just pillows with inspirational
Can it be
things we
those
say.
sequin ones? I want the sequin ones.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
literally what I was thinking
Perfect.
too.
We are the same person.
We are the same person.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna ask. There's something I had to add. I wanted to like go off of.
I have a question.
Yeah.
At what point in a relationship do you stop overlooking, or do you not stop overlooking like the really annoying little things that they do that you friggin' hate? Like, is there a compromise? Because I don't want to roast my ex, but
I've been doing it the entire time. Like, by all means.
When I'm a really driven person, like I'm paying my way here.
Right.
I am trying to my best to get like a good GPA. I'm like
Right.
working, blah blah blah. And when you're with someone who has no drive virtually, like is just kind of stuck in their minimum wage job and is not aspiring to do anything else, like at what point do you go like, maybe this isn't a good match?
I mean, if I was dating anyone like that and I just kind of knew that, I would just axe it right away. Because, like, it's just, there's no point.
Yeah, that's basically what I did. It was like, 2 months?
2 months,
He seems to think it was like 3 years. But
Oh, my goodness.
anyway.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's like you would know, like, I think that's the early stage of knowing someone is like very like important.
Yeah.
Like if I was like going on a date with someone and then they started talking like about how they like don't have any ambitions or plans, then I would kind of be like, oh, that's like
Well, no,
weird.
he did. He wanted to be a professional musician. But the thing is, he didn't play well. So,
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
I thought you were gonna say that he wanted to be a musician, but he didn't know how to play any instruments.
imagine.
And I was like, oh.
I mean, you said it, not me.
I was like, okay.
No,
Same thing. I mean,
you're not wrong.
I think. Oh, going off of that, I remember what I was gonna ask. But what are your guys' like deal breakers? Like if you
Again,
like
no drive.
if you were on a date with someone and someone said like this one thing, you'd be like, okay, it's
Ooh,
not gonna work.
All lives matter. Something like that. Like if they're
Yeah.
not politically, informed.
Would political views like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. If I've got like an extreme like conservative sitting across from me, I'm gonna have nothing in common with them at all.
Right.
So there's no point.
Right.
Yeah, no drive, just
Yeah, no drive.
preoccupation with, like, something that's not going to go anywhere.
True. Or if they do nothing but like smoke or drink, like I hate that. Like
Oh,
if
if they can't hold a conversation besides about smoking or drinking.
True.
Yeah.
This one time when I got high, it's like, do you have a personality outside of that?
Yeah, what's like a deal breaker for me? I think. Yeah, I think drive it like and ambition is a huge one. Oh, if they like, well, this is something I'm saying this is a red flag, which is so funny because of what I just talked about. But like, when I'm in a relationship with someone who can't get along with my friends.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I know. Which, like,
Yeah.
I dated them for 6 months and didn't notice that. But no, like, if they can't, like... But I think because, like, both the guys I've dated, they didn't... And this is also, like, a rarity. But, like, they didn't really come from, like, really, like, social groups of people. Like, in high school, I remember talking about them in high school, they didn't really, have a lot of friends. Like, they didn't, like, have, like... They didn't go to social gatherings. Whereas me, like, I come from, like, a group of, like, 20 people.
Yeah.
And, like, we see each other, like, every single week. Like, we party and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So for them, it was a lot of, like, them coming to events and, like, not doing anything and, like, just, like, kind of judging what me and my friends did. So I need someone who can, like, keep up with, like, my, like,
Your
extrovertedness.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'd, like, yeah.
That's so funny. I'm the exact opposite. I'm that
Really?
person sitting in the corner, like...
No, I think, well, you communicate and talk to people.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, he would just, like, or both of them would just, like, not communicate. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, yeah, I feel like I never, like, got to know, like, your significant other. And I was like, oh, well, I did, unfortunately.
Ooh, unfortunately. Ouch.
This just turned into a roast of, like, my exes. Like,
If you want to talk about roasting exes, my first ex, I found him on Tinder because he lives in Burnaby.
Okay.
He actually tattooed himself on the chest. He tattooed anime girl eyes, and he said looking for e-girls in his bio. So
Did he have that when you were dating or after?
No. He had
Oh,
no tattoos when we were dating. This was when I was like just 19.
Oh, no.
So
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Oh,
I think
no.
that
Was
I
that
think
what
that
like made it for you? Like you saw that and you're like, hell the fuck.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
in.
I'm in.
Do you self-identify as an e-girl?
No, I think I'm more like one of those emo kids who's stuck like mentally in 2014.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it. That's my shtick.
Yeah, that's very in your neighborhood.
I still cry over Brendan Urie daily. That's a
me
lie.
too.
But
I wrote down friends with benefits versus dating.
this is you because
Yeah, this is me.
to me like
Have you guys do you guys like believe in friends with benefits?
I think it works. You
at
know,
times.
it's kind of like one of those things where you
Yeah.
kind of just both have to be on the same page.
Yeah. I think I like it better when you're like genuinely friends. You know what I mean? Like more friend than benefit. I feel like those relationships work out better than like just being benefits and then friends.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
You know? Because I feel like with friends with benefits, there's that sort of line of like respect almost, and like you can have a conversation with them besides just like hooking up.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like so much healthier. And like I find I run into that like more often than not.
Yeah.
Just because like I don't know. I feel like it's hard to go from. Have you ever had a situation where you like it was a friends with benefits that went into dating, or have you heard
Almost.
or like do you know like of people who've had that successfully? Because I feel like I've never had that. It's always
don't
just been
think
like it's stuck at friends with benefits.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever been successful. I
Yeah.
had one instance like that. We were like friends with benefits, and then he started to catch feels, which
Yeah.
it happens sometimes.
Mhm.
So
It'd
then
be
I
like
was
that
kind of like,
sometimes.
well, I'm moving. This was in the summer before I moved here, and he went, well. And then he kind of started to distance himself, and I figured, okay, it's because like I'm moving and he doesn't want to get hurt, so that's fine. Turns out, this makes me so sad. He actually stopped talking to me because he started hooking up with my ex-best friend from high school.
Oh.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
If you ever feel like your life is a disaster,
Yeah.
it's me. I lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only instance I've ever had with friends with benefits. It was really crappy. The ending sucked. It ended up being, I was like, he worked at a bar, so I'd go to that
The
bar and I
ending
would get,
sucked.
yeah, I would go to that bar, I would get a drink from him, and I would just be like, oh, so how's, I'm not gonna say her name, but oh, so how's, and then he would go, oh, we don't talk anymore. And I'm like, good, and then I would just walk away.
Oh my god.
Drunk me is really petty. That's why I try not to drink too much. But,
Yeah. Go on.
so that's my only friends with benefits story.
That's quite the story, though. Quite the page turner. Speaking of page turner, check out the Peak next week, where on the cover we talk about the new Spartacus books that's on commercial.
Did you just?
I did just segue into promoting the Peak.
You know what? I respect
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like we should promo something. There you go.
Absolutely.
Follow me on Instagram.
Stop.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I always just have that like awkwardness where I don't want to have the conversation. because it's one of those things where it's like, this is nice. Like, we're just like, we can like we talk all the time. Like we actually like know each other kind of well, and then like occasionally we hook up.
Yeah.
But then there's that point where it's like, well, why don't we just date? I feel like I run into that all the time where it's like, why aren't we just dating?
Yeah, like you are basically dating
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're doing everything a couple would.
Yeah.
Right.
People hate labels, though. That's the thing.
And that's my thing too, where it's like that's where the awkwardness comes in, is you don't want to bring up the label.
True. Guys get so scared of that. You could be, you know, meeting his mom, you know, eating ravioli with, you know, his dad, talking about the fucking ball game, whatever straight guys do. I don't know. And then you talk to him after, you know, hanging out for 8 months. Be like, what are we? He's like, excuse me? Like we're friends. Like they would freak out.
Yeah.
Because they just hate that notion of, okay, well, I am monogamous to this person. It's so dumb.
At what point do you introduce a significant other to meet the parents?
Well, I still live at home, so it happens pretty quick.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just maybe after a month, 2
Yeah.
months. Just like once you're comfortable and like you kind of know that this person is someone that you'd like to actually be dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. I would agree. I think like a month, 2 months.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, imagine the awkwardness, like you introduce someone to the family and then you guys like break up, like
Yeah,
the
just
next,
like
day.
they're gone.
It's like, oh, what happened to that person? It's
And then
well,
like 3 days from now, like a new person comes. Like
yeah.
Ooh.
Do you, when you guys have you been in other relationships besides the one you're in right now?
yeah.
When you guys like break up with someone, do you tell people immediately?
Yes. Usually. Because they're like, if you're avoiding that awkward situation of, oh, where's so-and-so? And then it's like, you sit there and you're like fighting back tears. Oh, we broke up. And then they're like, wait, what? And then it's just super awkward. So I'd rather just bite the bullet early. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same whether it's drawn out or like
True.
quick.
Yeah,
Just avoid the agony later.
I know.
Yeah.
See, I think like for my like first relationship, I didn't tell people till a month after.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You didn't have like any emotional support from your friends then because you didn't
I
tell
know.
them. Justin.
It's
sad boy hours.
Well, no, because like me and like my ex at the time, we were still friends, quote unquote. Yeah.
Friends.
Like we broke up, but then like we still were like, oh, we can be friends still, and we hung out like maybe 2 or 3 times. So it, like made like my friends didn't have to question anything, I guess. Yeah. So then I didn't tell people. And then the next time I literally told people like the day after, which is funny because like my last ex and I, we broke up on April Fool's Day.
Oh no. That's fucked
So
up.
like when I was telling people we broke up, everyone thought I was kidding. I was
Yeah.
like, no, actually, we actually broke up. Like this is actually kind of sad. Like, can someone please pick me up?
The timing on that. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. It was. I had to preface it. I was like, this is not a joke. I swear to God, this is not a joke. Yeah, it was rough.
That raises a question then. Like, does it make sense for exes to try to be friends, or should you just kind of bury that? Does it depend on like the situation?
I think it's situation dependent. Like I think if like, I guess it depends like why you broke up first of all, and I also like, if I feel like if you can maintain that sort of level of like hanging out without being intimate, then you know you can kind of be friends with someone. Because I feel like the second you're like hanging out with an ex and then you have that instinct to be like, oh, we should like kiss or something, then that's like no, like you've ruined it.
That'd be so confusing to me, like to be in that type of dynamic with a person. Like, oh, well, I'm attracted to you, but I can't do anything because we're exes. That just, I don't think I could ever do that. I've never been friends with an ex ever.
Really?
They're blocked on everything. Yeah.
Do you think
I agree.
Do you think you'd be friends with an ex down the line? Like if you ever like ran into them and like, oh, we should get coffee. Like, would you?
I don't know.
my
I don't
exes
think
at
it
least.
works. I mean, I've never experienced it really working. So
Yeah.
I just think, you broke up for a reason. It's probably good to move on.
Yeah.
It's probably healthiest to just like not pursue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
life
Well,
advice.
because yeah, I guess like I'm not friends with any of my exes now. But like, there's like maybe like one of them, if they like message me or like I ran into them, I'd probably be like, hey, like we should like catch up. You know?
But then there's always that like instinct,
Yeah, I guess. Toxic behaviors.
Oh, Justin. Both of us like, no. Justin's like, well.
Well, give people chances.
But do they deserve it, though?
I guess not. I guess the answer is no. Kind of like going off of that though, like, is there like any oh, actually, I want to go back to something we talked about. Have you ever been in a situation where your friend was dating someone that wasn't that great and you felt like you should tell them?
Oh, yeah.
And did you?
And yeah. And then I lost the friend.
Oh, man,
They're
really?
still dating, though. Yeah.
Really?
This was one of my old friends back in high school.
Mm-hmm.
This was a while ago.
Yeah.
She hadn't really, like, dealt with dating at all until, like, I guess they started dating grade 12. And she fell so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost unhealthy, but I mean, daddy issues. Anyway, so they started. Sorry. Anyway, they started dating.
Keep that in.
And she was that person that would cancel on me to go hang out with him because she was almost like obsessive. Like it was creepy. They would hang out after school every day. He would drive her to their place. Yeah, almost. Ooh. Anyway, yeah. So to his place, they would hang out the whole night, and then she would get dropped off at home, and then they would meet up in the morning at school, and it would just be every single like school day they would do that. And then eventually, I realized I'm like, is he giving you enough space, or like is this kind of like a two-way street? Like, are both of you happy with this, or is it kind of like him being really like a helicopter date? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
Like, like
It's a thing
helicopter
now.
parenting?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like a
Yeah, so
helicopter,
kind
like,
of just like doesn't let you do other things. But then I realized maybe the way that he's going about it, it's making her feel like she shouldn't do anything else. So then I called her out. I was like, do you think that you should, maybe balance time with friends? Because we've been friends since grade 5 at that point. So how many years is that? Yeah, a long time.
Math.
And then just getting like, right? And then just getting cut off like that, it hurt. And I called her out. I was like, do you think that this is fair to any of your friends, like especially me, because we had been like best friends since grade 5, and then she just went, well, why aren't you happy for me? And then tried to pin it on me, and I was like,
You're in high school.
That too. I was gonna say you're in high school.
that's the thing, like,
Yeah.
But they're still together.
they're still together, and
Okay.
they are going strong. I don't have her on any social media, but I've heard from like friends of friends that they're still together, and they're still
Damn.
just like that. So I guess if it works, it works. But the way that she went about it, it was very high school-esque, but also it was just, to me, I got like really bad vibes from him that he didn't let her. Well, I don't know if he forced her to not hang out with other people, but like that's what I got from it.
Yeah. I feel like going back, that's such a turn off for me. Like someone just like controlling how you like traverse your social life.
Yeah,
like that's such a
totally.
turn off for me. What's your experience with telling someone?
Also in high school.
What's high
My
school?
friend, like, he had so much in common with this girl, right? And he was like, I could tell he was in that moment at the beginning where you're like about to fall in love with someone. So I've known her for a while, like, and I was just like, dude, like, there's something there, and you gotta just be aware of it. So I took him to the side, and I was like, yo, like, this girl might not be perfect. Like, I know you have, like, so much in common, but, like, there's things that you're not seeing that you will see, and it's like,
Ooh.
Yeah.
And how did he respond to that? Was it like a...
Actually,
I don't care.
he was like, wait a minute. I think I
Wait
see
a
what you're
minute.
talking about.
Oh,
The
really?
Raven Simone, like...
Yeah, but like, and then
it's
only like weeks, months later, he came back to me and he was like, yeah, thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Calvin being the freaking best
Yeah, I
friend. I wish I
know.
had a friend like you in high school. Oh my
I have had a friend like
gosh.
that
Ooh.
recently.
Recently, yeah. Recently would be great.
But
I mean, like, it's a gamble, right? Like, he
It
could
is,
have just
it
been
is.
like, I don't want to be friends anymore.
well, because like I mean, we have the spectrum here where like you and that person aren't friends anymore, whereas you and that person were like he was like appreciative. So
Yeah.
it really is like situation dependent.
True.
I don't know if I've ever, because like most of the people in my group of friends who are dating within the friend group. You know what I mean?
Yeah. it's a
Like
little sketchy.
again, we're a group of 20, and I think like 5 of the relationships, which is almost all of them. Actually, no, everyone in my friend group who's dating is dating someone in the friend group. So we have 5 couples who are all dating someone else.
Recycled. Anyway.
Yeah.
My friend group too, like,
Yeah.
within the friend group.
Yeah, it's all in the friend group,
Yeah.
and then it's like, yeah.
I feel like that's just a recipe for disaster.
Well,
I mean,
that's the thing.
so far it's been good.
The Well, the thing
Marcus is like, I don't know.
the thing is, we have like there is that anxiety of like if one couple breaks up, like what happens to the group? Because
You're
it's,
gonna
like,
have to pick sides, and then it's gonna be
Yeah.
this
Oh,
war.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
unhealthy to me.
It's interesting, but it's like it's I mean it works. Like all the couples are really happy, and like I
That's
feel like it's a
good.
good dynamic.
For now.
I've never had that anxiety before, but now I will.
I'm so
You're
sorry.
welcome.
I'm so sorry.
Peak Speaks giving anxiety since 2020.
This just because it reminded me of high school and like the shenanigans of high school. What's like the most ridiculous thing you did for like love or like for like someone you like had feelings for?
I have a great answer to this. Back to my first ex. This was before the anime
Yeah.
eyes. Anyway, so I used to, because I live in Prince George and he lives in Burnaby, I would fly to come see him. He did
Damn.
once, so that was great, but I did twice, but there's a reason it was twice. So the first time I went, it was during reading break, so it was like just kind of a few days of hanging out. It was
Yeah.
really fun. And then the next time it was around March, and he came to Prince George, and we hung out because he had family here, or family there, so we hung out with them and me, and it was good. And then the last time that we did a little trip to see each other, I went to Burnaby, and the first night that I went to his house, he's like he games, like he's a
Gamer.
he plays like, I don't remember, some sort of fantasy computer game, and he's sitting there.
League of Legends.
That's it.
Hey.
League, right? I couldn't remember because I tried to repress the memory. Anyway, so
Gotta go.
I'm sitting on his bed. We hadn't seen each other in months. We'd been dating for quite a while at that point. You'd think like the first night that I was there, he would like, we would go out for a date or something, or like
Yeah.
at least talk to each other.
Yeah.
He's sitting on his computer, headphones on, completely ignoring me. After
Wow.
I paid to fly to go see him, and I'm
What?
sitting on his bed, and I'm just
That's-
like, I feel so stupid right now.
Yeah.
So then I went into
Yeah.
his bathroom, and I had a full-on anxiety attack. I'm like, why did I pay so much to go see this guy?
Yeah.
He doesn't care, blah, blah, blah.
And you were
he
forced
didn't
to stay
check
with
on me.
him, right?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I was staying at his
Oh
house,
my-
and he didn't check on me when I went to the bathroom. And then I came in, and I stood at his doorway, and I was like, just tears streaming down my face, and he finally paused. He finally took off his headphones. He's like,
I'm in the middle of the game.
Yeah, like you're like.
it kind of had that energy. He
Yeah.
like, it seemed
Could
like it
you
was a
quiet?
chore.
You're crying. I'm in the
That's
middle of
the-
something
that
here.
is the exact
I can't hear the
energy.
chat.
This is the exact energy he had. Like, he put his headphones on. He's like,
wow.
hey, and I'm like sitting, I'm like, I think I should go, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. Because he like,
Where are you supposed to go
Oh my
to?
that's a good point.
Like,
I
you're
told my
stuck
mom
there.
later. She's like, you should have just
Oh.
come home, and I'm like, well, my flight was a few days after, so I couldn't,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Oh,
my
I
goodness.
felt trapped in his
Yeah.
house. Like, it was horrible.
That claustrophobia feeling trapped. I would hate
Yeah.
that. I would
Yeah.
hate not
It
feeling
was-
like I could escape.
That was one of the worst days of my life. I felt
Yeah.
so stupid.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
juicy.
That's unbelievable. Like, I
Yeah.
play League of Legends.
Yeah.
And I play a lot. And I enjoy it very much. But if, someone, doesn't matter if it's girlfriend, a friend, someone came to visit me, I'm not playing League of Legends for the whole
Right.
time they're there. Like, I'm taking them out. Like, we're going,
Yeah.
that guy.
And then later,
yeah.
he was streaming on Twitch, and I was laying on his bed, and he made sure to get me in the shot, so it showed that he had like a really like whole girlfriend, and he's like, yeah, I got hoes, whatever. And I looked up, I'm like, what are you doing? And then he's like, oh, nothing, don't worry about it. And then I realized later that's totally what he was doing, and I'm like,
What's his Twitch? We should plug it on this podcast.
honestly, I don't remember. Stop. I'm unloading some trauma here, and you're just like, man, what's this guy's at?
Yeah, what's this guy's we should like give him some followers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has like an Asian fetish though now, because he proceeded to tell me, he's like, you made me realize that I only like Asian girls, and I'm like, okay.
Well, he got that
What the
tattoo.
fuck?
Yeah, he's
Wait, that line is so loaded. Holy shit. You
Yeah.
made me realiase that I like Asian girls?
he was
said that?
absolutely an emotionally manipulative asshole.
Wow.
He also
can't believe he
posted
said that.
when I flew back from that trip, he proceeded to break up with me on Facebook Messenger instead of just telling
Oh!
me in person before I left.
Oh.
But like I knew it was done, but like I couldn't bring myself to like say it because I was too just like
Yeah.
devastated. And then he was like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think this is gonna work. You live too far. That's what he
Does
said.
he realize what he put you through? Like, I
Oh, no.
can't.
That's the question. That's a pillow right there. Does he realize what he put you through? Oh wow.
Yeah, so
you paid to go see
Yeah, you
this
paid
guy.
to go
yeah.
see him.
And it was not cheap either. Like flights
Yeah.
from Prince George to Van are like
Oh,
$500?
Wow. Oh, $500.
Oh, like return.
Oh,
Yeah.
Even so, like, oh, wow.
That shit hurted.
Sorry, from Prince
Yeah.
George, which is in the province,
Yeah.
to here, that's $500.
I'm pretty sure
Round
it's
trip?
around there.
Round trip.
Yeah.
I literally went to Hawaii for $420 last year, round trip. Damn.
The things you do for emotionally manipulative skinny white boys.
Wow. All right. I didn't realize how loaded this question was gonna be.
Sorry.
Calvin, what's your story?
Sorry, what was the question again?
What's the the wildest thing you did for love?
Oh, easy.
Oh, I love.
So, have you guys ever played this game called Maple Story?
I did, yeah.
No.
I was one of those kids.
You know Henny Hose?
Yes, I think I do.
Okay. And you know how like some people play the game for like levels and stuff and
Yeah.
other people like play just to socialize?
Yeah.
So I was kind of like in between that
Yeah.
and I had this like girlfriend on
Okay.
Maple Story.
Okay.
And like I don't know, we just talked for a while and then we started Skyping and like you know, I was 100% sure this girl wasn't a dude, so
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like, we were kind of like straight up dating for like 6 months. Like, we would
Yeah.
just like talk every day on Skype and like watch shows together and stuff.
Aw, yeah.
Yeah, and then like high school was like about to end, so it was like either like we do something about it or we don't. And so I just worked a summer at an ice cream shop and like flew there. Yeah.
Aw, that's actually kind of cute.
That is.
Yeah.
That's the good side of my story. Like, that's the wholesome
Yeah, I was gonna say, you
version
both
of-
have like flight stories a lot.
I don't know. Looking back, like, should I have done that? I don't know. Like,
Well, yeah. Well, that I think what that is like quintessential, like, well, how far do you have to fly?
New Jersey.
Bruh,
Yeah.
that is like East Coast of the U.S.
Did you guys like date longer after that?
No, like,
Oh, okay.
like it was like a
no.
month, within a month after.
Oh, okay.
Because
Then
like
not
school
crappy.
just started, like
Oh, okay.
university, and
Yeah.
like we're across the continent,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's never gonna work.
See, I want to say like, if you were doing that whole Skype thing for 6 months, I think that's so valid to fly out to
Yeah.
see her.
6
But,
months
like,
is quite a while.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild. New Jersey.
Yeah, dude,
That's
I was like, I was
crazy.
so like head over heels for this girl,
Yeah.
but then like, I don't know, it took me a long time to get over, but once I did, I was like, you know what, like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I had this experience, but
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's done.
See, I don't have that at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. So that's good at least, right? Like you have like
So
the
what we've
memories of
learned
it.
today is that every negative story Paige has, Calvin has one that has a better ending.
He's me, but less emotionally damaged.
No. I was there. Like, can you like 2 years? I couldn't get over this person. Like, I
2
think,
years?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think that's valid.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's no set time to get over someone.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. See,
But then one day I just woke up. I'm like, I'm happy. Like,
But that's the best feeling in the
Yeah.
world, though, when you wake up and you're like, oh, I finally like, don't care.
yeah.
I love that. See, now I'm trying to think of a story that doesn't pale in comparison. Because, like, my story was going to be from high school.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, high school stories are the spiciest.
That's
That's
true.
true.
So I had this friend. She was like my best friend at the time. This is when I was like into girls still, and yeah, I remember like I was so into her and like in grade like we were in grade 12, so like I was gonna ask her to like grad or like prom or whatever people have, and like I was in like student government. My best friend was like the president or prime minister because we're Canadian. So I had asked him if like during the Christmas assembly that year I could ask her out to grad in front of the entire school.
I can see
That
where
can
this
go
is going.
one of two
So
ways.
yeah. So like she would like not come because she was also in it, and like she would not come to meetings sometimes. And during those like when she wasn't there, like we would talk about it and like be like, okay, this is how it's gonna go down, blah blah blah. Cut to the assembly, and like, the way we set it up is we have a giant screen like in the gym, and this is like huge gym, like it fit our entire school in there. So like in this screen on the entire thing, and like I had basically just like made it like did a thing like Christmassy like her name, will you go to grad with me, and then like they like surprised her by bringing her up on because like we had like a Santa there to like have students sit on his lap to like commemorate like the good students who had like done good things for our school that year. And they called her up, and she was like, oh, what, that's not like in the plan, because she was like had seen who was gonna go up, and then like the lights cut out, and
Oh
then
my
the
God.
screen came up, and then I walked out from behind the screen with like a bouquet of flowers.
That's so
And then
extravagant.
I
Wow.
took the mic, asked her, and she said yes. Cut to, she starts dating a guy like a month later, tells me that she can't go to grad with me because her new boyfriend won't let her.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh no.
So then I ended up having to go
Yeah.
to grad with someone else who was like it like worked out because she's like one of my really good friends,
Yeah.
still is, and like I went with her instead. But then this girl ended up going to grad with our group of friends, but her boyfriend and her had broken up before grad, so she just went to grad by herself.
Okay.
Well, I had my date still.
The
I went on a
plot
date
twist
still,
of
but
that
like
Oh,
story.
man.
yeah. I feel like you expected for it to go terribly wrong, like the asking part, but like
Yeah.
that was fine. Teachers cried. Like teachers
Wow.
came up to me in the hallways like I cried during that, and I was like, wow, like okay.
Damn.
But
Damn.
yeah, it was. I remember too because I was in musical theater at the time,
Of course you were.
and I was mic'd up and had a mic like right here, and like we were having this conversation outside. Yeah, it like went like they fed through my hair and like went up here.
But like, why? Why here?
I don't know.
Like, why not just like on the?
Well, because like we had like really like
Yeah.
bad ones, and like they didn't want us to tape them to the sides of our mouths because you could see
Oh,
them.
okay.
So they always wanted it to be up here.
That sounds like it's the less.
That's so
Yeah,
dumb.
I don't know.
the worst
Anyways,
option.
so I was mic'd up, and then we were
Yeah.
having this really intense conversation outside the doors because it was after school. And the entire time in my head, I was like, "Oh my god, is my mic on?" Because like, if my mic's on, everyone could hear the conversation in the auditorium
Was
because we
it?
were doing rehearsals. No, I don't think it was.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was. But when I came in, though, everyone could tell that I was in a mood. So I was like, can they tell or did they hear everything?
Oh my god.
Oh man.
That's
'Cause
some like Degrassi shit right there. Like that is so dramatic. I don't even.
High school, dramatic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wild.
And that's the weirdest thing I did for love.
We have 15 minutes till.
Yeah, I guess we could wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, follow me on Instagram.
I need that song or that sound.
Yeah.
That's what I. That's what I want.
well, I guess we could just plug our stuff. Read The Peak. Follow
Yeah.
us on Instagram.
The Peak SFU.
I was talking about us individually, but yeah, I guess that's more
Oh.
important too. Check out our website, the-peak.ca.
We are award winning.
We're award winning. We did win an award.
Yeah.
And yeah. Any last parting advice?
Is he that cute or do you just want the attention? That's my advice.
Wow.
Because I wish that I had heard that 70 times.
I just have this, put school first.
That's
Oh
my
wow.
Nothing really matters more than that.
Wow.
And
You know,
well,
my-
obviously family. Like,
Yeah. No, my advice is going to be if you're on a date, don't eat anything that requires you to open your mouth really wide. Because that's just. Have you ever been in that situation where you have like a burger and you're on a date and then it's like the most. Oh, eat flattering food on a date. That's the.
like a burrito.
I love it's like put school first.
Yeah.
Value
Yeah.
yourself.
I was like, oh, Calvin really just did me in like that. Oh God.
Had to do it to him.
Yeah, I had to do it to him. Yeah, all right.
That's it.
Hit it. That was not the one I thought it was going to be.
Which one do you want?
Calvin, which one is the good one?
The dumb one.
The dumb one?
Yeah.
All right. I hope it's still there.
Oh, so bad.
This is going to be the first dance song for my first dance at my wedding.
Perfect.
Okay.